program Pride. I'm Spinstergirl.
And I'm Todd Janes.
Todd, I hear that you beat out, now, let me get this straight, Regis Philbin for this position as host of program Pride?
I'd rather not talk about it.
Really?
No, it was kind of ugly. Mud wrestling.
Lawsuits are still pending, aren't they?
Well, I'm not the only one who has a story. I heard that a certain Entertainment Tonight host, Mary Hart, something to do with the leg competition.
Well, you know, she had longer legs, didn't fit with the couch, short couch.
Anyway, welcome to Program Pride.
Welcome. Here at Program Pride, we're a program designed for the gay and lesbian community in Central Alberta, but we welcome anyone to watch our show, and we're here to focus on issues of gay and lesbian culture here in Alberta.
Sure.
And we're darn proud.
We're happy about it.
Yeah.
And also to maybe reflect a little bit on the gay and lesbian lifestyle for people who feel a little disconnected in Central Alberta.
And to help people connect with other activities and things to do around the community. Certainly, I know I'm proud of this program.
Oh, I think it's pretty swell too.
Yeah. So I have a dream, and I just wanted to tell you about this dream, something I'm proud of. I've always wanted to go to a movie theater with my girlfriend, you know, and to be standing in line and, you know, to be holding hands and be all gushy and then to maybe, you know, go see the movie, like a really romantic one, like a Schwarzenegger flick or, you know, True Lies or something like that. And to just feel kind of, oh, I don't know, able to be romantic and to sit there and...
You mean make out?
Okay, make out. I mean, wouldn't that just be wonderful? I guess it would be asking for special privileges, but...
No, I don't think it's special privileges. I think it's, you know, natural, what we all expect. And talking about that, our first guest today is advocating just that. His name is Lee Wegenast, and he's with Just People. Welcome to Program Pride.
Hi,
Thank
Lee.
you.
So, Lee, tell us a little bit, how did Just People come about?
Just People was started in March of '93, and that was in response to numerous government officials and their comments that basically gay people don't exist and we don't need any special rights because we've got the same rights as everyone else, but we don't.
Now, that's what I'm curious about. What is that special rights versus equal rights? I mean, are there a lot of special rights that I think that gay and lesbians are asking for, or is it a matter of equality?
It's a matter of equality, yeah. There's no such thing as special rights. What we're asking for is the right to live anywhere we want and not be kicked out because we're gay, or to lose jobs, be refused entrance into hospitals, or medical information from our spouses or partners. We want the benefits that everyone else gets.
And how are some of the ways that Just People are doing that?
Well, we started with a major conference, pulled it together, and that we put together a...
that was the Alberta Summit.
The Alberta Summit '93, to put together a presentation for Jack O'Neill, the head of the Human Rights Commission. We had groups from all over Alberta here, and then we took all of their submissions and put them all together into one, so that we had a united voice. So carried a lot more weight that way.
And so all of this then led into a group that has been functioning for how many years now?
For 2.5 years. Yeah. And there's all members from all walks of life. We've got professional people. We've even got some straight people that...
So it's heteropositive?
Very much so.
Good.
And some of them have some pretty good input, and they see a different side of it, I guess, than we do. So that kind of changes our focus, or more rounded maybe is a better word.
So that focus, it's more than just getting inclusion in the Alberta Rights Individual Protection Act?
That's a good step. Alberta is one of the few provinces left that doesn't include sexual orientation in their RPA.
Now, isn't it that Alberta doesn't recognize gays and lesbians as a group discriminated against?
Exactly. Like they said, they think that we have the same rights as everyone else, and we don't.
In actuality, there's a lot of victimization that happens by not being in that position of being recognized as being discriminated against.
Definitely. The potential is very much there. Like I said, we can lose jobs and so on, so everybody's very leery about being out and being who they are.
One of the things that Just People do is a lot of advocacy to get protection, but is it also dealing with education? I mean, you can have something legislated, but you also have to educate the general public as well.
Very much so. If the general public isn't educated, the legislation will never go through. And we do quite a bit of that here. We've done open forums in the college, talked to specific classes there. We've talked to high schools, sexual assault center, just to name a few of them, just to let them know that we're not for special rights, we want equal rights.
And how have you been received?
Generally very well. There was, in the college, the one time there was a lady that was very much against us and very derogatory, and basically the rest of the people in the forum tuned her in real well. We didn't have to say a word.
Great. That kind of follows up my next question. Are Albertans as homophobic as the media portrays us?
I think in a lot of ways they can be, in their own quiet little private space, yeah. Whether they go public with it or not is a whole other thing. It has happened, and it's happened here in Red Deer. Mm-hmm. But the more we can educate them, the less likely that is to happen.
So do you think it's more dangerous here to be out than anywhere else, or than any other province, or do you think?
I don't know if it's more dangerous, because you're going to have prejudice in any province here. But I think the key is to be careful and don't allow yourself to get into potential situations. I think that's the most important thing, to be aware of what's going on. Generally, we have a wide base of support here, and it's just very hidden. A lot of people won't publicly say that.
No, Just People, it's a provincial organization.
No, it's just a Red Deer base.
Okay. And it's a political organization for the most part. How are you received throughout Alberta, say in the larger centers like Calgary and Edmonton?
In the gay community,
Yeah,
or in?
Yeah, in the gay community.
Very well, actually. We were a little surprised, because we come on the scene a lot behind everybody else. And away they went. And we've been quite accepted and change or pass information back and forth.
And how are you accepted outside of the gay community? You made a distinction.
In here, in Red Deer?
Or in Alberta?
Well, I don't know if I can speak for Alberta, but definitely in Red Deer, we have wonderful media response. They come to us at any time that there's any kind of story. They have reported very well, unbiased, and try and do both sides of the story.
Do you find Just People sometimes having to advocate or even act on behalf of individual people as well as?
We have, but it's been, of course, with no names, or in most cases, no names. We've let some of the members of Parliament, whether it be, well, the MLAs or MPs or city, and we've worked with them to straighten out some of the problems, the benefits, and that kind of thing.
And one way of arming, I guess, is one way of putting it, Just People. Is it to collect experiences and stories from people of how they've been discriminated against?
We don't do that so much as try and make people aware that it's happening. We have had campaigns targeting advertisers in very homophobic magazines, and it's actually been quite effective. A certain magazine was a little upset with us, to say the least, and put a whole story in, which in a lot of ways is good publicity, whether we like it or not. So we have an effect, but how much, I'm not sure.
I think that's always hard to measure. Things like Just People, people would probably really miss if you weren't here. I think is maybe an unfortunate way of trying to measure it.
Well, that leads into a good question. Who exactly benefits from the work you do?
The people that benefit the most are probably the farthest in the closet, because they got a bigger chance of losing their job if they found out, or they perceive to have.
Right.
They may not have any more chance than any one of us. But the people that are on the front lines, and there's a few of us, are really fighting for the rights for everyone, and so that the people that are very much in the closet don't have to worry about losing their jobs, don't have to worry about being kicked out of their apartments.
Good. Straight people, I would imagine, also benefit from that, or people who would identify as predominantly heterosexual.
They can because of reverse prejudice. If these laws are enacted, or if we get the legislation we want, then anyone perceived to be gay cannot be discriminated against on those bases. So it wouldn't matter whether you were gay or not. But if you are perceived to be, now you can be discriminated against. Then it would protect everyone.
So how can community members become involved?
We have a contact number and a mailbox and so on. And there's a lot of things we can do. They do not have to get in front of the camera. There's a lot of letter writing campaigns, and they don't even have to sign their own name. They can just help compose the letters. A lot of behind the scene work that nobody needs to see or know. Even our membership list is very carefully guarded, shall we say. So
a close guarded secret.
Yeah. A lot of our members have requested that, and that's fine. But their support makes a great difference in getting the many things done, like the conferences. The volunteers there, we'd have been lost without all of the volunteers.
Why do you think Alberta has been so hesitant to include sexual orientation in their Individual Rights Protection Act?
That's a very good question. I don't know if I have an answer.
Okay. Personally speaking.
Well, I think a lot of people in this province don't want to think about the possibility that there are others different, and differences here don't go over well.
But you know what? Thank God for the differences.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
Lee, thank you very much for coming and joining us. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get a lot of people out to take advantage of Just People and to help you guys out as well.
Thanks
a lot.
And hopefully we can get the job done.
Absolutely.
Great.
Good work. Well, now we have a fabulous singer joining us, Joy Descoteaux, and she has just returned from being overseas. She's been busking and singing for 7 years now, and she's got a fabulous pair of purple pants on.
Purple and proud.
Let's go over to her.
I know that people been talking about me for almost all of my life. They don't want to reject, but they can't quite accept that I might be a dyke. Might be a dyke. You know, my mom and daddy were good to me, so you sure can't blame it on them. And it's still not too clear how I grew up a queer. I only know that I am. I know that I am. I fell in love for the very first time, so tender, young and strong. Not yet exposed to the feelings of those who'd say my love was wrong. But how can love be wrong? And once I knew a woman just like me, but I wish I could have known that living out the life of a loveless wife would make her take her own, make her take her own. I still remember the first I heard about AIDS or HIV. They were screaming about the plague on the cover of every rag, and they blamed it on you and me. Yeah, they blamed it on you and me. Now some of us say we were born this way, and for others it come late, but you know that any of the above still adds up to love, while homophobia's hate. Yeah, homophobia's hate. But still some say that you can't be gay and have rights or legal say. You know, staying in the closet is only gonna cause it just to stay that way. And you know it can't stay that way. Because strength can come in numbers. Hey, we gotta hold our heads up high. We gotta let the world see we have love and dignity, and it will not be denied. That's the meaning of gay pride. Hey mama, I'm a queer. Well, that's sure a bit of good news, dear. Hey mama, I'm a big old dyke. Well, I guess then I know you're gonna be alright. Hey mama, I'm a big old fag. Well, I guess then you got a real reason to brag. And I'm gonna love you just like you should be loved. Love, 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 love. La 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 love. La 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 love. La 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 love. I'm gonna love you like you should be loved. Like you should be loved.
And that was Joy Descoteaux with Gay Little Number. Do you know that she writes music for, she writes gay and lesbian hooray music. Isn't that great?
Hurrah.
Hurrah!
I feel like going home watching a Julie Andrews movie.
Hurrah!
You do that well. Thanks. Wow, swell. Well, in this part of this show, we have someone who probably won't need a lot of introductions, but hey, we're going to do it anyway.
Because we're so proud of her.
We are proud, but we're tickled pink, but not, purple this time.
Lavender.
Lavender.
We're tickled lavender.
I like lavender.
Yes.
Mauve.
Who are we seeing?
Oh, okay. Get on with it. I'd like to welcome to Program Pride Michelle Sharp.
Yay.
And Michelle's the Fund Development Coordinator for the AIDS Coalition of Calgary. And she's also the Co-Executive Director of Project Pride in Calgary.
Right.
Welcome to the show.
Regis, Kathy.
Hi.
Oh, someone else who knew really well.
I cry much less. Now, didn't you organize the From All Walks of Life
Right.
walkathon thing?
Walkathon, yeah. This was our third walk, but it was the second time we were in the national walk. It was on October the 1st. We were one of 40 cities across the country that were involved in the walk this year.
Yeah. And how did it go?
It was really, really good. I was very pleased. Other than the weather, it was a beautiful day, ha-ha. The next day it was beautiful, and later on in the day it was beautiful, but it was very successful.
And we.
Look, you brought home movies! Oh, this is so exciting. Look at this.
So now these are people registering for the walk right now?
We had over 400 people actually walk this year.
And I see them doing up tallies and
Yeah, with a
totals right now.
calculator.
How much money was raised or has been brought in to date?
At this point we've raised almost $25,000, just a little bit over $25,000.
Oh, and you had some celebrities.
Yeah, Sven Robinson, Richard Gregory, Jane Oxenbury, and then we had Pam Torgerson, which is one of my favorite volunteers at the agency, carry the banner at the beginning of the walk.
So, as opposed to other years, how successful was it this year?
This was really successful in the length or the the life rather of a walk or any fundraising event. The first year you're lucky if you break even. The second year it's almost the same kind of thing. Last year, for example, we spent about $27,000 putting the walk together and raised 33, so we actually netted only $6,000, which is, to our mind, that was successful because we were supposed to break even. This year we only spent $6,000 putting the walk on, and we raised over 25, so we netted close to $20,000.
Great. Now, as opposed to other walks, I know they did one in Edmonton as well, and they're planning one later on for Red Deer. And in Edmonton, they had something like 1,700 walkers, and they raised about $100,000. But now that's their big money raiser for the year for the AIDS Network and other organizations. In Calgary, your big fundraiser is Calgary Cares.
That's right. It's a fashion show, basically. We actually get some celebrities to decorate blue jean jackets, whether they're Levi or Bugle Boy, whichever we can get at that point. And we send them off to these celebrities, they decorate them. A lot of the celebrities are fashion designers, so those jackets are absolutely fabulous and totally changed. You would never know it was a blue jean jacket. And then there's others, people like Elton John, who's our top designer this year, as it were, do something that's a little bit more plain, but it's still quite unique to have. Madonna has done one for us for a couple of years. People like George Fox have done another one.
Wow.
And how did you get these celebrities involved?
You just keep bugging them. That's all you do. We have a wonderful volunteer team, Calgary Cares team. Shane Morgan, who co-chairs that committee, works really hard. It takes about 10 months to put Calgary Cares on, and we raise in the neighborhood of $50,000.
Now, most of that money, that goes directly to programs for people living with AIDS and HIV prevention?
Yeah, education and health primarily. That's what we're targeting. Most of our funds that are raised go to those kinds of things. We're one of, we're in the top 4 AIDS service organizations across the country, and Calgary actually has the highest HIV infection rate, one of the highest, the 4th largest actually in Canada. So it's very important that we reach out and get some funds in so we can get to those people.
Messages out. Great. And that's fabulous work. You're a busy woman, though. I mean, you're also the co-executive director of Project Pride.
Right.
Now, what exactly is Project Pride?
Project Pride is about 10 years old, and it was originally started to create Gay Pride Week every year, at least help to make sure that it happens every year, and also to enable Team Calgary to raise funds to go to gay games every 4 years. So I've been involved with Project Pride for about 2 years now, officially. Prior to that, I just helped to coordinate Gay Pride Week.
Why is it important to you to have a Gay Pride Week?
You know, it would be nice that if we didn't have to. It would be really nice if this was every day was Gay Pride. And a lot of people ask me, well, why do you have Gay Pride Week? We don't have Heterosexual Pride Week. And I always say,
that's
the
other 51 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, you read my mind. You know, you have the rest of the year. Can't we have our 1 week? I think that for me, Gay Pride Week is important to reach out to those that we can't see on a regular basis. The community is still small, 10 to 15%, and a lot of those people you don't see. A lot of them are hiding in their homes and their closets, in marriages, whatever. We need to reach out to them.
I was wondering if we could shift focus for a few minutes. You've been involved in a lot of things in the community, and one of the things I was wondering if you could share with us the evolution that you're seeing in the gay and lesbian community in Calgary.
Well, I think it's a growth, and I know that Calgary in particular, compared to places like Toronto and Vancouver and New York and San Francisco, are really far behind. We have a lot of people who have this opinion that we are redneck, and yes, we're dealing with that as a reality, but we're also dealing with the fact that we don't have a government that is supportive. We have a lot of young people who seem to think that, oh yeah, that was the 60s, that was the 70s, that's when the movement started at Stonewall, and we don't need to do any more work. And a lot of young people I talk to now say, well, we have other things that are more important than gay rights. But we don't have them yet, so they are still important. And until you've been a victim of any sort of discrimination, you have no idea what it is that we live with.
Now, beyond all of this activist work, you've done other things, well, that are activist as well, but entertainment as well. You were involved in a radio program?
Niall O'Rourke and myself started the first gay and lesbian, I should qualify. There are gay shows, there are lesbian shows in Canada, but we were the first Western Canadian gay and lesbian show. That was in 1990. We did that for 2 years on CJSW, UC. And that was, the program was designed to entertain people as well as inform people. So we had music, we had lots of guests and lots of extreme political opinions from one side to the other. It was a lot of fun.
Michelle, one thing that you mentioned, you talked about, you know, people, the evolution of you have, you know, to reach a certain pinnacle before you start to get involved. What really gave you the bite to get involved in the gay and lesbian community?
This is my favorite story. In 1988, I went to the Michigan Women's Festival, and everybody who knows me hears me talk about it, but it literally changed my life, changed how I viewed myself as a lesbian, how I viewed myself as a political person, and what I could do to make things better. And that's how I got involved. And if it wasn't for Michigan, I wouldn't be doing this.
And didn't you buy those shoes when you were near Michigan or in
Yes,
Michigan?
this year, yes.
Fabulous shoes.
Pay less, $10.
I tell you. So really, in all, it's just going to Michigan is something you would suggest to every dyke out there.
Every woman.
Every woman.
Lesbian, straight, bisexual, it doesn't matter. I mean, there is a joke in Michigan that says 98% of the women that go are lesbian and 99% that leave are lesbian. So, you know, you have to be okay with being around lesbians.
What did the other 1% do?
I don't want to know.
Take
Don't
pictures
take
and
me
photographs.
there.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
Thank you very much for
No
joining
problem.
us. It's been fabulous to meet you. And
And thank you for joining us.
yeah, I think, you know, that's just about the end of our program Pride.
Yeah, for this time.
I'm so proud we made it through.
We survived.
Yes.
And,
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, yes, very much. And please tune in again next time. Take care.